Hi, I'm Roxy. If you recently obtained my comic inking brushes for Rebelle, then I have a surprise for you. I've been using it myself. I've been using it all throughout Inktober, and during the course of this, I actually ended up creating 8 new brushes. Uh, I added that to the original pack, which brings the total to 24 brushes. So feel free to grab a new copy from Gumroad, Cubebeush, wherever you got it. For my patrons, that'll be a Dropbox. And now we're just going to quickly go through each of the new brushes. Okay, so where did we end off last time? So we got to brush 16, which was the Ben-Day dots. Let me just zoom in here. So brush 17 is also Ben-Day dots, but slightly different angle and bigger dots. 18 is also a kind of a Ben-Day half-tone pattern, but the dots are more sparsely spaced. Then we've got Vintage City. I need to show you what I created with this brush real quick. Let me just open. So one of the prompts, I forget which day, it was city or skyline or something like that, and I decided to do the Johannesburg cityscape at night, and I ended up creating this brush, which is really easy way to quickly make a cityscape, like blocky sort of upright buildings. And then on top of that, the next brush is the city lights. And what I did was I hold down, I don't know what key it is, but it's the eraser key. You could always just click here for erase. Oh, it says there hold C. I don't know if I made it C or if it was C. So I hold C for the eraser to just toggle on, and then I can draw. Doing a shit job here, but so as you draw, you'll see that it's creating a little bit of randomness in the spacing of the blocks, which makes it ideal to indicate windows. So you could obviously just select a lighter color, but what I did was I actually erased from the cityscape. So you just kind of make some windows. It's really that easy. You don't even have to think about it. The biggest challenge is, I guess, keeping your hand straight. You could also do vertical windows, like strips like that if it's a different kind of building. And just for interest's sake, you'll notice that mine is skew. All I did was I pressed Control T, which I don't know if I set that keybind myself or if that is the natural keybind, but it's basically deform. And I just kind of warped it into space like that. I think I may have even used this warp tool to kind of round it out. I can't remember exactly how I did it, but that was the basic gist of it. So we've got our building. This one is called Vintage City. This one's called the Vintage City Lights. Then we've got Rayburst. This is kind of an interesting brush. It's got two kind of purposes. So you can see, I'll just do a quick stroke there, and you can see that it's got these lines, and there's a little bit of randomness to the spacing and a little bit of jitter. And the size is also linked to pressure. So if you press lightly, it'll be smaller, and then you can gradually build up to a bigger line. And I find that this is just ideal for like a sun streaks on water. If I just grab the vintage block there, let's just say that this is a body of water, and then I get the here we go, Rayburst. I'm holding down my eraser again to cut into it, but I could just paint with a lighter color. But you can see how you can real quickly make the illusion of water. But that's not all. It has another purpose. If you spin it, you can make kind of like a burst, which could be useful for explosions, which is something that you often see in comic art. Make a small one, make a big old one, and so you can tightly spin it around for kind of like a starburst, or you can make kind of a circle and it'll have like a little bit of a gap in the middle. So there's a couple of different ways you can use this brush. And then we've got circles. This was also something different. If you just tap, you can kind of get these concentric circles with a little bit of hollowness inside, but if you kind of swivel it in the same spot, then you can actually get more solid looking circles. So it depends on how you actually want to use it. Potentially could make some bubbles, I guess, depending on how firm you are. If you just press lightly, and when I hear the word bubbles, I always think of So, okay, so second last one is Vintage Eroded. This is very much like the vintage brush, this one here, but it's a little bit more eroded. I'm sure you can see that, and currently a little bigger. I'm actually finding that this vintage brush is my absolute favorite. I've been using it for almost everything. But so, yeah, so we've got another option of that kind of brush that's a little bit more eroded. And then lastly, we have block foliage. So this is, it creates like random blocks, and I figured this would be really cool to use as foliage for a tree, or at least to start out as foliage for a tree. You know, you could have something like that, and then you could connect things together as branches, and just super quick you got this really cool little abstract tree. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the new brushes, and thanks for watching. Much obliged if you leave a like and subscribe. Thank you to my patrons. Until the next one, God bless.